More than 1,000 women earned their wings during World War II, but their service to the country did not always get the recognition they deserved. One Iowan, however, wants to change that. They were known as WASPs, Women Air Force Service Pilots, and after Larry Rittler heard about their story, he wanted to make sure everyone else knew about them too. Larry joins us this afternoon because you've got a great story, your own story, but then what you're doing to honor these WASPs. Tell me a little bit about your interest in them and how you got so motivated to help honor them.
Well, there wasn't any interest to begin with. I received a piece of junk mail and I read it. It was kind of interesting, and it came from the museum, the WASP, W-A-S-P, from in Sweetwater, Texas. So I thought it was pretty interesting, very unique. Sent a small donation, which they were asking for, of course, to keep it alive and to keep the story alive. I got more junk mail.
So from that,
the interest just kept building. It just kept building, and I have 3 daughters, 5 granddaughters, and I was thinking these women paved the way for a lot of women to do different things. So to fly military aircraft in World War II was just something, I'd not heard of it before.
I know, you and a lot of other people either. And you have your own military service, your own background as well.
Yes, I was in the Army.
In Vietnam?
In Vietnam, yes, helicopter pilot, and helicopters were pretty popular in Vietnam.
Sure, so there's the interest there, kind of the connection and your way to then preserve a piece of history. Some people just send in that donation, but you've really gone above and beyond, taken multiple trips, 4 wheels, 2 wheels. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, once I visited the museum November of 2022, I first learned then through the displays there that 38 women died during the program. Of the close to 1,100 that served, that received their wings and actually flew military aircraft, that many died during the program because of accidents. And the same with the male counterparts in the Air Force, Army Air Corps. Some of those had accidents as well. But when I looked at the displays, I saw one was from Iowa. I looked further through the displays of the women who died, and there was another from Iowa. So we had 2 Iowans that died during that program. And it was just amazing to me that these women were even flying airplanes. For example, the one from Des Moines, Beverly Jean Moses, she graduated in late June of 1944. A July 1st newspaper article lists her as graduating, plus 7 other Iowa women. So they were coming out of the woodwork somehow, but they had to have a minimum amount of time as pilots before they could be accepted.
So let's talk a little bit about, we've been showing some video about you taking your bike rides to raise awareness, raise money, but you've taken it now a step further. Tell us what you've brought here today and how you're still honoring these women.
The women were finally given recognition in 1977 as veterans, and then in 2009, they were awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor, and then in 2010 they were given the medal. So they had a big ceremony at the Capitol in Washington, D.C., and the surviving WASP plus living relatives who attended received this replica. This is not the Congressional Gold Medal, this is the replica, but it's the exact same thing, and it's what those surviving WASP women received. So it's a U.S. Mint creation. And then for my ride, which was in September of last year, I thought a bicycle ride because I've done other long distance rides, and this one I thought would be exceptional because it started from Iowa, from the grave of Gleanna Roberts over by Iowa City. Sharon Center is a little unincorporated burg where she grew up, and then the other from Des Moines. So I started the ride there in Sharon Center.
Okay, I want to make sure though that we touch on this most recent development. These grave markers. So tell me a little bit about that.
Since the women were not part of the military originally, there was a question, at least in my mind, whether or not their mothers were Gold Star mothers of the ones who passed away. So I contacted several people. A lot of people didn't have answers, including one of our large veteran organizations. So the America's Gold Star families finally gave me the answer. They said, yes, they are Gold Star mothers. So I ordered a couple of Gold Star Mother grave markers and placed those at the mother of Gleanna Roberts and the mother of Beverly Jean Moses at their cemeteries and their headstones.
It is really remarkable how that junk mail turned into this mission and this way to honor Iowans, their service, their sacrifice, and their families. Larry, we thank you for all you're doing. Keep it up.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me here.
When we have more time, we'll do some more on this as
Okay.
well. All right.